Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of Music of the Week. I apologise if the intro sounds rushed. This is my second time attempting to record it because I completely fucked it up somehow the first time. So, we have 5 albums to go through, and we'll try and get through them as quickly as we possibly can. We begin with Envision and their newest album, The Gods That Built Tomorrow. This is a hardcore punk leaning album. Very fast, very heavy hitting in terms of its punk style, almost metalcore leaning in places. I'm giving this one a B. I think it's a very well handled album. I like the lyrical themes of self examination and trying to press on through fear. I think those are really well handled. Some political stuff is really nicely added in there too. I quite like the heaviness of the instrumentation. I think the riffs are really fast and punchy. The album is very short in terms of structuring. Not many of the songs are really all that long. I think it's over 20 minutes, but I don't know by how much. However, it does fit in quite a lot into that short time frame, and it doesn't do a whole lot with structuring, but it keeps it simple, keeps it very punchy and heavy when it needs to. I like the production as well, pretty clean for the most part, very surprisingly so. Very well handled though, and I quite like the mix. It does make things pop quite a bit, especially in terms of small details, and I like the performances as well. I think they're there's clearly a lot of passion on display when they're in the playing and the singing and so on and so forth. I quite like the chemistry. I can't really think of much of in terms of standout, so I'll just edit whoever I picked it was in when I did the Discord review. So yeah, but really good album this, so go get it to him when you can. Next we have Lerma Prieta with their new album Last. So this is Lerma Prieta's first album in 8 years and my first album by them, and this is a band I didn't really know a whole lot about beforehand. I quite like this one though, I'm giving it an A, and yeah, this is again also hardcore punk, more like noise rocky, post-hardcore power violence stuff. Really well handled though, very heavy in terms of its riffs, as you would expect from power violence. That's kind of the point of that genre. I don't know what the hell I'm doing with my eyebrows. But yeah, no, I really liked the heaviness of the riffs. The guitar work is fantastic, the drum work is really good too. Forgot to mention that the bass work on Envision's album was also quite goddamn good. I quite liked the lyrical themes of Last as well. I thought it had some really good handling on the bleak tone, especially in terms of things like depression and self-worth and so on. It really tells a really compelling story with that. If it's not really conceptualized, but it feels like it, and I like it when an album does that, when there's not really a story, but it lets me dig too deep to think that there is one. I like the performances a lot as well. I don't know who does what. Lead singer's pretty goddamn good though. Quite like the production, surprisingly clean for an album in this genre and in this style, and as heavy and as dense as it is. It's not overly done. It showcases some fantastic stuff with the mixing, and structurally wise as well. I think it's the longest album from the past weekend, but it fits in quite a lot into the shorter songs, and it builds up wonderfully with those, especially when it goes to the longer songs as well. It squeezes in so much with pacing. It doesn't experiment too much, but it does keep you guessing, and it's pretty unpredictable, but not to the point of causing like a huge head whiplash, excuse me. So yeah, go and spin this one. I thought it was pretty goddamn great. I quite liked it. Next is Sweeping Promises and their new album Good Living Is Coming For You. This is the band's second one, I believe. This is a post-punk leaning indie punk, indie rock thing, and usually that is a style I quite like. But I did not like this album. It gets the lowest grade of this episode. It gets a big fat D. So I didn't really gel with this one, to be honest. I thought the instrumentation was a bit bland and repetitive. The structuring, even more so as a result. It just feels like there's so much stuttering in the flow. It's only got 10 songs on it, it's not overly long, but it drags and slogs through so many of the songs, and most of the songs are only around about 3 minutes, so you wouldn't think it would feel that long, but it just fucking does for some reason. It does absolutely nothing interesting with its timing or pacing or its instrumentation. The lyricism, it can be interesting when you examine the themes of things like gaslighting and toxic relationships and standing against the patriarchy, but it's just repetitive phrasing, repetitive tone feel. It just didn't work for me. I like the performances. I guess like the lead singer, Linda, I believe her name is. Again, edit text goes here. She does a good job. There's only like 2 members of the band. They do a pretty great job. They don't do a great job producing though, because they handled that aspect of this album, and they did a fucking horrible job. They make the guitar sound really glitchy, and the vocals especially sound wobbly on the production booth, and I don't know why. I feel like if this album were allowed to feel more raw, then the production would have saved quite a lot of it for me, but it just feels overly done, and at the same time not anything is done with it. I don't really know, I just know I didn't really like this album that much, so I would recommend going past this one, but that's just me. Next we have Throw the Fight with Strange World. Now this is the first band who I've covered before in a previous Music of the Month video, because the last one came out back in 2020. I quite like this one though. It's more their alternative rock leaning, hardcore, post-hardcore stuff, excuse me. Give this one a B+, I thought it was really, really good. Only 9 songs on it, but again, it gets quite a lot out of what it gives you. There's some really solid riff work, especially in terms of the guitar. I quite like the drumming a lot as well. They're typically like more prettied up stuff, but it showcases how well they are playing, and they are playing really, really well. I like the lyrical themes as well. I think there's stuff of self-examination and past relationships, and they are handled really nicely. Some little bits of political stuff, but not overly like in your face with it. Songwriting wise, well, I think I already covered that with lyrics, but riff wise is really good too. I like the production, very, very clean and very organic feeling, and I quite like how it plays in and adds a lot to the sound. Structure wise, it's really good too. Although weirdly, even though there's like 9 songs, the last 2 are seen as remixes, because like those are like the 2 singles that I released prior to this album coming out. But I never listened to those singles, so I'm getting these quote unquote remixes as the original versions of the songs, so that's just me. I quite like this one though, so if you've heard anything good about Throw the Fight, and they are pretty decent, I recommend giving this one a spin. It does lack some vulnerability for me. It could have done with maybe a bit more emotion, but what we get out of it is just some really good post-hardcore, alternative rocky stuff, so give it a spin for that alone. And finally, we have a debut. We have Zulu with their first album, A New Tomorrow. So this is a band that's only been around for about 4 years. They play a hardcore punk power violence metalcore style, and they refer to it as black power violence, which makes sense because all the band members are black, and, the term black power, I just really like the term black power violence. It's pretty fucking great. It's awesome. And I'm giving this one the highest grade of the episode and the highest grade I can possibly give, which is an A+. I really like this one, and at first I wasn't sure I would, because I thought, it's just a really good album, and I didn't really feel the same way as most other people did about it at first, but then I spun it again, I was like, oh no, yeah, I totally get it. It's not like with Sweeping Promises album, where a lot of people quite like that one, except for me, but no, a lot of people quite like A New Tomorrow. I really like A New Tomorrow as well. I think it's fantastic in terms of its structuring. A lot of the songs are fairly short. In fact, there's 15 songs and about 10 of them don't even hit 2 minutes, but what we get out of that structuring is fantastically built to the other stuff, and it adds an experimentation with things like African dance and reggae and some soul music as well, and it's weirdly, it works somehow. I can't fully explain how or why. All the band members must just be mad fucking geniuses, because somehow they get that shit to work. I love the sincere messaging, because it is against like current modern day American things like police brutality and racism and segregation, but at the same time, it's also a celebration of what it is to be black. And if any band can do it, it's a band where all the members are black, and it feels fucking refreshing and cathartic in that way. I don't really know how else to put it, but the band feel free, especially shines in terms of their performances. I can't really pick a standout. If I had to, maybe the drummer and co-lead vocalist Christine Cadet. She's fucking phenomenal. But I love everyone on this project. Everyone is absolutely fantastic. Production-wise, it's very organic and pays a lot of really great attention to the mix as well. Mastered wonderfully too. Solid technical direction. Really like how it's handled, to be honest with you. Very organic feeling. And again, it works in, sorry for my hair, it works in the outside and sort of like experimental and weirder elements in a fantastic way. Did I go over the riffs? Probably. Really good structuring, I've already done it. Really good guitar work, really good bass work, really good drumming. Really good work with the outside elements. Like, I'm pretty sure that there's some piano and other like African instruments that I couldn't remember the names of. If they are used, they might not be. I could not find a whole lot of information about this album, so I do apologise for that. But one thing I do know about this album is that you should absolutely go and listen to it. It's a very important album. This is their first. They've only been around for 4 years. I am very fucking excited to see what they put out next, because this one was just really great. Really, really great. And that'll about do it for this one. I'll give my ranking thing now before I forget. So at the bottom we have Sweeping Promises with Good Living is Coming for You. Yeah, seems kind of obvious, doesn't it? Then we have Envision with The Gods That Built Tomorrow, Throw the Fight with Strange World, Lemon Prieta with Last, and Zulu with A New Tomorrow. But as always, you should give all of these, even the bad one, sweeping promises. You should give all of these at least one go, because you might find something to like even in the worst albums that I review. So, yeah, that'll about do it. Next thing I'll see you for will probably be tomorrow night. I was going to say Music of the Week episode. No, an episode of PBW vs. ABW. Halfway Show 2 over the top, I believe. That's going to be a really good card, I'm hoping. So, yeah, I'll see you all tomorrow night for that. And as always, thank you. Oh, and next video I'll see you for will probably be a Fight of the Night review on Sunday. Maybe. But that'll be a bit of a self-promotion of the future. As always, thank you for watching. You're awesome. Bye-bye.